Oh. Satchidanandarupaya Vishvotpatyadihetave Tapatraya Vinashaya Shri Krishnaya Vayam Numaha. Janmadhyasya yatonvayaditaratascharteshvabhignaswarat Tene Brahmahradaya Adikavaye Muhyanti Yatsurayaha Tejo Varimridam Yatha Vinimayo Yatra Trisargo Mrisha Dhamna Svena Sadani Rastakuhakam Satyam Param Dhimahi Dharma Projita Keita Votra Paramo Nirmatsaranam Satam Vedyam Vastavamatra Vastu Shivadam Tapatrayon Mulanam Shrimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krite Kim Va Parerishwaraha Sadyo Hridyavarudya Tetra Kritibihi Shushrushubistatchanat. Hari Om and greetings from Niagara Falls. I'm fortunate to be able to serve with many Chinmaya Mission centers. On Sunday mornings, I'm part of many assemblies. And in our assemblies, we chant, we sing, we say, devotion to the people is devotion to the Supreme Self. Everyone remembers that? What's funny about the Chinmaya Mission Pledge? Suppose I asked all of you, okay, chant the fourth paragraph. You have to start with paragraph 1, right? We stand as one family to get to the fourth paragraph. So much of what we do is unconscious. I'm sharing this because our course, Bhagavata, is dedicated for us to be bhaktas. I shared, if we only identify as bhaktas, then there's such surrender to Bhagavan. That is the only relationship, the only importance. Bhagavata is dedicated to us being bhaktas. And then what is a bhakta dedicated to? Bhakti. To living this life devoted to humans and animals and plants and stones. So even if you don't know the fourth paragraph of the Chinmaya Mission Pledge, if you're identifying more as a bhakta, you're expressing this more as bhakti, then that pledge is much closer to you than anyone who knows this sequence. Paragraph 1, paragraph 2, and so on. We are in a very Vedantic portion of Srimad Bhagavatam, the Nava Yogi Upadesha. Nava means 9, not new. new age yogis and these techniques that they're giving about this and that. The 9 yogis sharing advice. This advice is based on questions to which they have given answers. Question 1. What is Kshema? Answer 1, advice 1, Mahavakya 1, Dharma. Bhagavata, Dharma. The greatest goodness is to do and be Bhagwan. Question 2, what is Linga? Answer 2, Bhava. Bhagavata, Bhava. What are the indicators of one who is doing all for Bhagwan? What are the indicators of one who feels their Bhagwan? Bhava. They feel divinity outside of them, inside of them. There is no condition to this feeling. Question 3, what is Maya? Answer 3, Sarja. Sarja. Maya is a creative power. Sarja, that naturally is creation. What is Maya? Creation of forms and names and getting lost in this. Getting lost in Maya is called samsara. You just keep spinning and spinning and spinning. It's living a life of busyness. Question 4, what is Taranti? Taranti. Please note, Srimad Bhagavatam is not organized in such a way that it's listed out here. These are the 9 questions and these are the 9 answers. It's a very full dialogue. This is Vivek's summarization and simplification for Vivek and for you also. It's not stated what is Taranti, but the distillation of this, what is Taranti means how to deal with Maya. Taranti means how to cross Maya, this ocean. And the 4th answer is Prapadyeta. Prapadyeta, which in English means to prostrate, to surrender, to be at that fisher person's feet so the net doesn't catch you. Clear? 4 questions, 4 answers. I have shared with all of you the ranges of answers, which verse it begins with, which verse it ends with. You should come up with your own summary, with your own simplification. Adding 1 element to what is Taranti. Tasmad gurum prapadyeta. If one is struggling with samsara because of Maya, therefore, thus, one should prostrate to one's guru. And from there, jignasuhu shreya uttamam. From there, inquire, pursue, follow what is the best so that you become the best. And that's all code for bhakti. Learn from your guru what bhakti is. Because if you are a bhakta, there will be no bandha. Those are antonyms. If I know what bhakti is, I will live like that. So I become a bhakta then. If I'm a bhakta, no bandha. I don't struggle with samsara. I do not struggle with Maya. We continue. I'm going to try to cover 2 questions and answers now. Unfortunately, the structure of our course, we are trying to complete 9 questions in 8 classes. But it's hard because each of these questions is so awesome and the answers are even more awesome, but we'll try. The 11th skanda, the 3rd adhyaya, the 34th shloka, 334, Raja Nimi is now asking to Rishi Pippalayana. Pippalayana. Please note, he's asking these questions, but these yogis are just taking turns answering. So now Rishi Pippalayana will answer the question. Narayana-bhidhanasya brahmanah paramatmanaha nishtam arhatadno vaktum yuyam hi brahma vittamaha. Narayana-bhidhanasya, the one known as Narayana. Brahmanaha paramatmanaha. Relatedly, Narayana is known as Brahman, that which is farthest. And Paramatmanaha, the one who is closest. Brahman, Atman. Nishtam, what is the nature of Narayana? Arhata no vaktum, please tell me. Tell us. Because Raja Nimi is not by himself. Yuyam hi brahma vittamaha, because all of you, the Navayogis, you know best. Among all knowers, you are the greatest. So in a simplistic sense, the question is, what is Narayana? Okay, that's being shared technically. Let me give you some orientation before we get to the answer. Question 3, what is Maya? Correct? Maya is a creative power. Question 4 really is, or the answer for question 4 is a guide. You have this creative power that is confusing. How do you deal with this? With a guide. Now, where do you think the guide is going to guide you to? That's question 5. Who is Narayana? Another way to look at this is, who is the creator? The guide helps us to shift from the creative power to who holds this power. From Maya to Bhagavan. Please nod if you're not confused right now. If you're not confused, do this. If you're confused, do this. Okay. Narayana, Parayana. Please remember those 2 words. Narayana, Parayana. Whenever we think of Parayana, we think of chanting, correct? Parayana means to cross, to transcend. So what a guide does is helps us to cross the creative power to the creator. That is Narayana, and that is now elaborated upon. I am highlighting verse 36. The answer is given between verses 35 to 40. 35 to 40. I'm zooming in onto 36 and I will summarize. If you're confused by what I'm sharing, you teach. I'm giving you these ranges. You study this, you summarize and simplify, and we'll switch roles moving forward. I think that was one of the suggestions in a recent class, is that the students should become the teachers. Let's try. Verse 36. This is a very elaborate verse, so I'm just going to read it in English. That way there's more of these and less of these, okay? So slowly in English. Just as sparks coming from a fire do not illumine or burn that fire, the entities born of him, like the mind, words, eyes, buddhi, prana, and senses, cannot reveal that being. Even the Vedic sentences, the basic source of Atma knowledge, reveal him not directly, but only by implication through their negative stance. For without an indirect implication of a positive background, an ultimate negation is impossible. Maybe the English was as confusing as the Sanskrit. Here's what this sentence is sharing in one sentence. You cannot know Narayana. You can only be Narayana. That is the essence of what is shared in Sanskrit and English. You cannot know Narayana. You can only be Narayana. Now I'll elaborate. Nara means individual. You are a Nara, I am a Nara, individual. Nara is the collection of individuals. Nara is the collection of Nara. So we are a Nara, a collective, a community. Ayana has two meanings. The lower meaning is path. Path. Like in the name Ramayana, it is Rama's path. He went from Ayodhya to Lanka to back. So the word Narayana is the path for the individual. Our path. Narayana, it is the path for the collective, our community. The higher meaning of Ayana is spirit. Spirit, self, Atma, all synonyms. So Narayana, the spirit of the individual. Narayana, the self of all individuals. What an awesome word. Forget about the answer. We can just contemplate on the word Narayana. Works for everyone. How deep our culture is. Here is the summary of all of the answers that are given. In verse 35, Rishi Pipalayana shares, Narayana is the causeless cause. Causeless cause. The lower narrative to this, what is the cause of all? Narayana. That's what we call him, the creator, the original parent, and so on. But the higher narrative, what does causeless imply? Please share with me in the chat. What is the implication of causeless? Origin. Yes, go deeper. Unchanging. Yes, one of you has shared this. Causeless means never caused. So there is no creative power that is Maya. There is no creation that is samsara. There is only Narayana. Causeless means never caused. Another way to look at this, Narayana is existence, is awareness, is joy. Sat Chit Ananda. Existence never became anything. Awareness never became anything. Joy never became anything. Which is why I keep sharing, stop becoming and start being. Okay, I'm looking for this or this right now. How are you doing? Some of you stop moving your heads. You've just started moving your bodies. Okay, in verse 36, what is shared? I told you, you can't know Narayana. You can only be Narayana. A great example of this, a comparison. A camera can take a photograph. That photograph can never know that camera. Yes? Whether it's physical, digital, that photograph can never go back into that camera, can never know that camera. Agree? All that photograph can do is feel it is not separate from the camera, it is one with the camera. Now, the implication for us, except your equipments will never know the spirit. So stop trying. You can't intellectualize Narayana or the spirit. That's what we keep trying to do. We keep trying to prove it. We keep trying to have a scientific approach to it. It's not possible. To accept, that acceptance is I am Narayana. I have to stop trying to know this like I know Wi-Fi, like I know a map, like I know my profession. A couple of summers ago, we invested a lot into aparoksha anubhuti. Many of you were in that course. Aparoksha means no medium. In other words, no knowing. It is only being. If you've read Puja Swami Tejomayananda's commentary, he referenced a quote from Swami Vidyaranya, and that message is, a human who doesn't feel the spirit is really a lump of clay that looks like a human. If I don't understand and appreciate that there has to be a spirit, the fact that I can think and I can see, how is this happening? It is the spirit, but if I don't understand and appreciate that, I am just an ordinary looking lump of clay. So the next time you want to insult someone, reference this. You clay? I'm going to try to teach my kids that. Instead of saying words like you're dumb or you're bad, start calling each other clay. In verse 37, the answer that is shared is, Narayana is that which expresses as the gunas. Narayana is the foundation. It functions as the gunas. Specifically, the sense organs and the sense objects. Now, what is the implication of this? How do we live this? The sense organs are Narayana. The sense objects, what are they? They're also Narayana. So what are you desiring? Doesn't that not make sense? I can't wait to meet Vivek. I can't wait to see him and talk to him and listen to him. If I started saying that, you'd all exit this class, correct? I am Vivek. So we invest so much in beautifying the sense organs and pursuing the sense objects. But if I have that insight, this is Narayana, this is Narayana. Instead of becoming, I start to be Narayana. I said that was 37. In verse 38, the answer is shared that Narayana is that which connects all jivas, like prana connects all jivas. In a practical sense, every one of us is breathing in air right now, correct? Our clothes may be different, our minds may be different, but we're all connected by that we depend on oxygen. Yes? Narayana is the same way. And so the implication of this is change your focus from what separates us to what unites us. That's the implication. What unites all of us is oxygen. What unites all of us even more deeply is Narayana. Okay, check in. This. Okay, some of you are, what is it calling? Abstaining, or you dissent. I do nothing. In verse 39, this is very interesting. Andeshu. Tell me what anda means in the chat. Andeshu means egg, okay? Peshishu, anyone want to guess? Peshishu means in an embryo or womb. Tarushu, what does taru mean? A tree or a seed. Egg, womb, seed. Then, avinishchiteshu. Avinishchiteshu, which means sweat. It means moisture. Narayana expresses as gunas. Narayana expresses as beings that are born from eggs, beings that are born in a womb like you and I, beings that are born from seeds like a tree, and beings that are born in moisture like fungus, etc. Correct? That's how fungus grows, in that humidity and so on. And that's so cool how specific our rishis are, correct? They could have just said born in wombs, but if you think of beings, some beings are not born like that. Now, the implication of this, Narayana expresses as those born from eggs, like birds. When a bird defecates on your windshield, do you feel that Narayana? At the end of the Ramayana, a very lovely teaching is shared. Parama dharma shruti vidita ahimsa. That the highest responsibility is to live in harmony. Harmony with all. So now you've been specifically taught by this rishi to live in harmony with all that comes from eggs and wombs and seeds and moisture. Powerful, practical, so aligned with Earth Day. It should be Earth Life, not Earth Day, Earth Life is what the sharing should be. And that leads me to the final verse in this answer. Verse 40, the Rishi shares that we should live for life. Naras, like us, should follow the ayana, the path, to the ayana with a capital A, which is presence. So in this single word Narayana, the entire purpose of our living is stated. Live for life. Life is infinite. Life is existence, awareness, joy. When you do this, you will feel more pure. You will feel more pure. And the more pure you feel, the more you will feel the spirit. Though I've summarized a lot, I'm going to summarize more. The question is, what is Narayana? The answer is ahetu. Ahetu. Hetu means cause. Ahetu means causeless. The implication of this, there is no samsara. There is no Maya. There is only Bhagavan. Do you have the patience for me to continue for 7 more minutes? Okay. Do I see any no's? Because if you state the no, we cannot complete the Upadesha before this year ends. Any no's? Okay. We're continuing to the 6th question and answer. This is the same Adhyaya. Adhyaya 3. The question is shared in the 41st shloka. 341. Raja Nimi is asking the question. The answer is now Rishi Avirhota. Avirhotra. Avirhotra. Here's the question. Karma yogam vadatanaha purusho yena samskritaha vidhu yehashu karmani naishkarmyam vindate param. Karma yoga vadata naha. Tell us about karma yoga. Remember, the last answer was the more pure you become, the more you feel Narayana. So now the question is, how do we become pure? How do we become pure? Purusho yena samskritaha. How do humans like us become samskritaha? Refined, pure. Vidhu yehashu karmani. How can we become free of karma? How can we become free of karma fast? We're tired of depending on karma, trying to create joy. What we want, naishkarmyam vindate param. We want to enjoy doershiplessness. Another way of saying that is we want to enjoy being. Remember, I shared from verse I'll find it for you. In these answers, there's one point where Rishi Pipalayana says that one should be Uru Bhaktya. One should be Uru Bhaktya. Bhaktya means to express devotion. Uru means intensely. To be greatly devotional. So now, Rajanimi wants to know, how do I become this Uru? I'm already a bhakta. I'm already expressing bhakti. But tell me now about how to become more intense, more immersed, uru bhaktya. The answer is given in verses 43 to 55. 43 to 55. I am only going to indicate now in verse 46. The indication to this answer, we'll elaborate on this more next time. Verse 46, Rishi Avir Hotra responds by saying, Parokshvado Vedoyam Balanam Anushasanam Karma Mokshaya Karmani Vidatte Hyagadam Yatha. The Veda encourages karma only so that one grows out of karma, like a parent encourages a child to take medicine because it is sweet. A parent will disguise what a medicine tastes like to get that child to eat that medicine, correct? So too the Veda says, if you follow the Veda, you will go to heaven. You will get this siddhi. But once you start to follow the Veda, you grow out of that. Just like a child grows out of needing medicine to be sweet, correct? They just know they need to take that medicine. So that is the simplistic answer to how does one become intensely devotional? Follow the Veda. Last thought. Vedasya cha Ishvara Atmavat. Vedasya cha Ishvara Atmavat, which means the Atma of Ishvara is the Veda. The essence of Bhagwan is the Veda. If you love Bhagwan, you have to love Bhagwan's guide. You have to love Bhagwan's guidance and guide. If you love Bhagwan Krishna, don't you have to love Bhagavad Gita? I love Bhagwan Krishna, but don't touch Bhagavad Gita. Then you have tuned out of the essence of Bhagwan.